G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. I've had a viewer request recently on how to uninstall an application that has been installed from source. Now that was an interesting question because rarely have I built from source. I think I have a long time ago, but I didn't find it the most favourable way of installing an application in Linux, so I sort of try to avoid it. Can't deal with it most of the time because there's always a dependency issue or something like that, so I tend to find other ways, .deb files or whatever. So it's maybe some things you probably just can't find, and if I cannot find it, I probably just don't worry about it. So here we are on the MakeMKV.com support forum, and this was the link I was given for the MakeMKV building from source. I'm pretty sure it's, yep. The Linux release includes full source code. So this is where I got up to, and I managed to install it. So I'm going to take you through that install. So first of all, we need to download the two files. So I've done that. I took a snapshot of this one here. So I've got a snapshot of it installed. This one I had a snapshot before I installed it. So we're going to do that all over again. So I'm going to download these files again. So we'll save these first of all. So they are both complete. So the problem here is you need to make sure you have all the required tools and libraries installed. So I think the problem I came across first up was not all of these were installing. So let's check that out first of all. So I've got an error there, and the error was have unmet dependencies, this one and so forth. So what I needed to do, I believe, if I remember correctly, is they had down here, so it tells you here that you need to unpack both packages and start. And starting from source package, do the following steps. So this is what we needed to do. The optional here, it tells you here the application will be installed as user bin MakeMKV. So now my problem is, I think, is this one here. So building with the latest libav codec. So this is what I needed to do first up. So I need to download this one here and download this tarball or whatever you call it. Okay, so that is downloaded. So I believe it's probably downloaded in TMP, in temp folder. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Let me check that. Wherever the temp folder is. Not sure where the temp folder is kept. Probably in the file system temp. Yep, here. So if we have a look at where it's been downloaded, this one here, it's downloaded in temp Mozilla PCTLC 0. So let's go to that. I don't remember having to do this on the first one unless my memory's really gone crazy, but let's just check that out anyway. So in file system temp Mozilla, so let's open that in terminal. And let's paste that command. We may need sudo privileges, I would say. Temp Mozilla, we need to go there. Yes, we need to unpack that, don't we? Extract it here. So we've extracted that, then we shall open this in terminal. And then try that again. This is why I don't build from source. But maybe if I did, I would know what I'm doing. So I don't remember having to do this when I last did this. Yes, I had this problem too. So yasm, so sudo apt install yasm. And then we'll redo that command. Configure that. So we've done that, and then we make install. Okay, so I sped that up so you can see the process, just in case you wanted to slow that down at any point. You can do so if you're interested in any of that process at all. Now, just in case you're wondering why I didn't go for this one, I had a problem. I tried this one, but I think it was a dependency error with this one here, I believe. And if you're building from source, you'll get used to dependency errors. They tend to pop up like weeds in the springtime. and that's the reality of building from source. So so what we're going to do here is continue with this one here. Yep, sudo. I thought, oh no, what's gone wrong now? Okay. And then make sudo make install. Did that go okay? No, it didn't. I didn't do sudo, did I? Sudo make. Okay. Gee. Don't know why I'm forgetting sudo so much lately. Okay, so that's the make done. Now we shall do sudo make install. So now we've dealt with the FFmpeg, so that's done. So, and the reason why I did that is because I did this in the first install. I'd followed this procedure first, and that didn't work because of these things not being able to be installed. So I had to do that first before I do anything else. So so then you got the make mkv.-oss and the make mkv-bin. So we're going to unpack those two. So let's I'll do one at a time, I think. Right. Extract here and extract here. That's the bin and that's the OSS. So what we will do is clear this off. And we shall start with the, I think on the first one is the MakeMKV-OSS, which is this one here. All right, so what we'll do is we'll close the terminal and we'll open terminal here. That's probably the better way to do it. So dash configure. Sudo make. zlib. I didn't get that error before, so I probably need to still install some of these, I think. Let's try that. And then we shall try that again. So I probably need to install a lot of these things here. I don't know whether I need to install all of them. I think some of them won't install, but I'll try anyway. I think that's the first thing we need to do. So I've led you astray a little bit there. So unmet dependencies, libavcodec-dev. So arrow up. Delete that, because that's not working. Try that again. And libg1 mesa-dev. So let's try that again. So I'll just delete whatever's not installing. And yes. Let's clear that. So yeah, it was that we needed to do that first. I thought the reason why they didn't install is because of FMPEG, but that's not the reason. But those, yeah, those two there didn't install. So that's, to me, probably doesn't matter because it did install on the first time I tried it. So let's try that again. Let's go /configure. And see what happens there. And that all looks good. Sudo make. And sudo make install. So that's that one done. So what we need to do now, I'll close that, and that's the OSS. Now we need to do the dash bin. So we'll do open terminal here. And we need to do sudo make. So now what happens here is you need to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Actually, if we go page down, probably be quicker. And page down, press Q to quit because you've read all that. Type yes if you agree. And then it will tell you to sudo make install. Now, if my theory is correct, we should have MakeMKV installed and running. So that's MakeMKV. I've got no DVD connected to here. It's a Virtualbox, but that's how you get MakeMKV running and built from source. The question was, how do we uninstall that? Well, that is a good question. How do we uninstall that? So I come across this website here from Ubuntu. I suppose it doesn't really matter whether it's Ubuntu or Debian based, which this is MX Linux. So usually you can just make uninstall or sudo make uninstall, make-n install, which but the make uninstall will only work if the developer of the package has taken care of making a good uninstall rule. You can also try to get a look at the steps used to install the software by running make-n install. Then try to reverse the steps manually. So I suppose my question would be, do we make uninstall from here or make uninstall from here? Now, the viewer asked me, why can I not see the viewer was trying to uninstall MakeMKV and looking for it in here and not finding it, which you will not find because it's been built from source. So I think when it's built from source, it makes its own symlinks and so forth. So I wouldn't even know where it's installed, but I know one of them's in bin. So if we look for MakeMKV there, it should be in there. No, not here. So this is my question to anybody watching who knows a little bit about building from source. If I wanted to uninstall MakeMKV, which we built from source, how do we go about that? Because I don't know. I wanted to answer the question for the viewer, but I'm really not sure how you go about that. Now you could probably open this in terminal and make uninstall. I think it was mentioned on here, make uninstall or sudo make uninstall. I think I told the viewer that that you can also use make-n install, but it's not. You can only get a look at the steps. So it says here, in the future, to avoid that kind of problem, try to use check install instead of make install whenever possible. As far as I know, always, unless you want to keep both the compiled and a packaged version at the same time, it will create and install a deb file. I'm not sure if that's true. Make clean usually cleans the building directories. It doesn't uninstall the package. So my question is, how do we uninstall something that we built from source? Do you need to reverse those steps? Because there's quite a few steps there to reverse, I must say, and even FFmpeg, which has supported that. So if anyone can sort of help out in this area here, that would be very much appreciated, because I don't know how to do it. I would rarely build from source anyway. I think I may have done it once before, maybe messed around with it, probably couldn't get it going. I don't know if I've done a legitimate install from source. I honestly cannot remember. I know I've messed around with it a long time ago, but a long time ago I wouldn't have understood how it worked. And with the viewer telling me that they search Synaptic Package Manager to uninstall it. Well, that's exactly what I would have done many years ago, but I do understand that building from source, it won't be in any package manager. I understand that now. I wouldn't have understood that if I built from source, say 5 years ago. I would not have known that. So if anyone can help out there, that would be great. And my viewer can probably check out the comments to see if anybody has got anything constructive that they could use to try and uninstall that. And I'm sort of a little bit interested myself. Now, I don't mind building from source if the instructions are quite clear, like this one here. Well, it wasn't exactly clear. See, these instructions are clear, but the problem is you never know what dependency issue you are going to come across. Then that throws a spanner into the works unless you sort of know how to work your way around it. You just have to, I suppose, look at the errors that come up and so forth. So I had two that didn't build here, but it didn't seem to matter because it worked anyway. So if you get that problem, just don't try and install the ones that aren't installing and see if that gets around it. Because the one that the couple here that had a dependency issue may not have mattered because I built this FFmpeg first. That could have been the reason. That is building MakeMKV from source. Uninstalling, I cannot show you that because I'm not really sure. And if anyone's got some answers, I will continue this on another video on how to uninstall. And then we'll go through that process and try and work that out. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting and informative. I'm looking forward to some responses, hopefully in the comments. And thanks for watching.